And what was your biggest challenge in launching SubQuery? So blockchain was one challenge, and if you can go into your journey.
I'll start by showing, like, so what is SubQuery? So I work for a team called SubQuery. It's one of the biggest blockchain data providers out there in Web3. Now, the problem for blockchain, and it's a real cool technology, but it's actually got one big drawdown. So blockchain is like a chain of blocks. It's in the name. But what that means in reality is you can kind of visualize that like a book. And like a book has pages, you know, in a blockchain, every 10 seconds, a new block is written. Whatever's happened in the last 10 seconds, we save that to a block and we add that to the chain. Same thing like a book. In the last 10 seconds, I record on that page what's happened and I flip to the next page. Now, if you've got a page full of information, let's say you've got your favorite book and you want to ask the book, what was the last 10 pages, or what was the last 10 times that this character appeared in this book? And that's the same as like asking a blockchain, give me the last 10 transactions that I've made, or give me the last 10 interactions that I've made with the blockchain. You know, it's in a format that everything's split over blocks or over pages. And so kind of in order to answer that question of, you know, when did I last appear in this book, you have to kind of scroll through the pages and you have to scan them, you know, like looking for this character's name, which is really inefficient, terribly inefficient. And that's one of the biggest drawdowns of blockchain. It's great technology for storing data in a decentralized way, but it's a terrible method or storage system for retrieving and querying data. And that's what SubQuery is here to solve. So you take your book, and SubQuery is an open, flexible, universal, what we call data indexer. And a data indexer is a bit of software that you kind of like shape up, you code. So SubQuery, look at it as like a tool, and you tell SubQuery that I want to connect to this blockchain. I want to look for these types of events. And whenever this type of event happens, so this type of event could be related to your NFT platform, for example. Whenever that type of event happens, I want to take that data off the chain and I want to store it in this format. And essentially what it does is it stores it into a more traditional database, which we've spent 30 years optimizing. I'm sure you'll know from your days, you know, databases, you can sort them, you can filter them, you can query them. You can do a lot more.
Relational database.
It maps this kind of linked list data into a relational database to which you can then query a lot more efficiently. And so essentially the outcome here is that people that are building applications on blockchain, whether that's a wallet, whether that's an NFT marketplace, whether that's an explorer, whether it's whatever, doesn't matter. Any application that needs data from a blockchain, there is a need for a tool like SubQuery, a tool that will take data off and provide it to the app more efficiently. Because with that, you can build more intuitive applications. You can build applications that show data that spans more than one block. You can show applications that show entire histories of things. You can build better platforms. And that goes back into my dream or my belief that for us as a blockchain industry to become more mainstream, we need better user experiences. And that's why we're building SubQuery, to allow people to build those. Now, one of the biggest challenges with coming to blockchain is there are actually quite a lot of blockchains. There's not just one Bitcoin blockchain. There's hundreds of blockchains, and each blockchain speaks a different language. And one thing that we focus on at SubQuery is creating a universal indexer, so we can connect to many different types of blockchains, and we're slowly moving through the ecosystem to add support for them all. And we can connect to many different types and take data off all of them. And so that last little bit of like translating this custom blockchain's random way of thinking into what we store data in a relational database, that's a bit of a tricky part. But that's a tech issue that we just have to solve.